You were absolutely a hero in New Orleans, especially when you did the Treme series. That seemed to bring your profile even higher, and that you had a big career boost with writing the theme song for that great TV show about New Orleans.
Right, you know, I got that news a week after I came back from Canada. I was in Penticton. It was in February. It was like a ridiculous time to be up there because it was cold as hell. And when I got back home, I was just shaking my head thinking that, oh gosh, man, it's got to be easier. Something's got to happen. Then I got a phone call. It was HBO, literally, right as I was sitting in my kitchen, you know, thinking I got to find something's got to break. And it was that.
It's a fantastic song.
Yeah, it was a simple little tune, man, that I'm so happy just happened, you know. That makes me just laugh. It's even, you know, I even laughed, just like I told you, I never sold merchandise, right?
And now you got I saw that on Facebook.
And I just laughed the other day.
Your John Boutté t-shirt, it's really cute.
I'm like, people actually want to wear me on a shirt? That's ridiculous.
I would wear you on my shirt. In fact, you know what, John? I wore this t-shirt for you today. Can you see it?
Beautiful, baby. Oh, I missed the jazz. I missed the festival.
2011, I made it down, and I remember I came to see you play.
I do remember.
Yeah, I got Backstage, which was awesome. Oh, yeah. You know, it was a wonderful experience to see your town finally. So. But now that we're talking about music, I do want to play you some music. John, are you up for that?
Yeah, sure. All right, let's see if I can figure out who it is.
Echo.
Oh, that's Doc.
Doc John. Echo. I miss Dr. John Gumbo. It's a really early album for him back in the 70s, early 70s. It's not his tune. It's been cut. It goes way back to the 60s, but it's a Mardi Gras song. So I thought with Mardi Gras coming up next week, and it's sad that it had to be canceled this year in New Orleans, the first time in God knows how long.
The first Black mayor of New Orleans after Reconstruction, he canceled Mardi Gras. You know why? Because the police were trying to squeeze him for money. And he said, really? Well, we're not going to have Mardi Gras. And guess what? They didn't, because they didn't have police officers on Canal Street to bring the floats through and everything else. He called their bluff. But guess what happened? The Black folks had Mardi Gras in their neighborhoods because we didn't have floats and stuff. We were always walking through. We didn't have all this all these contraptions and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So the point is, it's been done before, and I'm glad she did it this time because it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do because all you're going to have is these folks down here spreading the disease.
Of course.
Once you get alcohol in you can't. That's why I don't want to do any live gigs, but because when people get alcohol in them, man, they come up on you. They can't help it, man.
So tell me about Dr. John. So I wanted to feature him. Did you get a chance to work with Dr. John?
I knew Doc really well, and he was a dear heart, man. And in fact, one great opportunity that I missed. I don't regret many things. I do regret this. It's a miscommunication. Doc, on one of his records that he did with the Black Keys, he had a tune that he wanted me to do, but the dates were completely, you know, wrong that I had. But my sister Lillian recorded with him a lot, man. She I think she's on Walk On Gilded Splinters. Oh, chitty, chitty, come, walk on gilded splinters. That tune, that little chant he has there, right?
Yeah.
That record actually pushed him over as like the Dr. John Voodoo. He had that image really was solidified. But, you know, when I think of the fact that he was married to Aretha Franklin's sister, and he wrote, "Don't play that song for me. Oh, bring back the memories of the days." Actually, let me get this straight. For Blackbird Productions, I did one of his tunes for a tribute they did at the Sanger Theater for him. Bruce Springsteen was there. The Staple Singers, the Blind Boys, Alan Toussaint, the Neville Brothers. So they were all there to honor Dr. John. That was a great experience. See if you can't find that, man.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna try to find that link for sure.
But yeah, I love Doc. He was a sweetheart. And his drummer, Herman Ernest, he passed away a couple of years ago, but he was a monster drummer and a great, just a joy, man. Every time I saw him, we just laugh, you know. He's one of those kind of people.
When I was picking tunes from New Orleans, I'm just like, oh my God, there is so much great music in your city, and it's just hard to pick, you know, my top 5 or whatever I ended up picking. So here's number 2 for you, John. I hope you like it.
Down the road.
Come
on,
John.
He was loaded. It was
the volume of Horizon.
Loaded as can be. He was knocked out or knocked out loaded. He was a singing, that's a song of me. He said, now 6 months or 6 months, ain't no sentence, no.
All right, what's your best guess there?
Oh, that's the one and only James Carroll Booker, who I had the good pleasure of actually listening to weekly during the 70s. He was playing in a lobby at the Toulouse Theater in New Orleans for the One More Time show. And he was just a genius. He had these incredible hands where he could play tenths in the left hand. He had a stretch that he could do that, and he just made this incredible sound. And he could play everything from Chopin, Debussy, to the most gutter blues that you'd ever hear, man. You know, he's a real maestro, man. He had a lot of problems, you know, and
yeah, it sounds like he had a fairly rough life. He died at age 43 from pretty much substance abuse.
I actually signed I was a contributor to his death certificate, because at the time I was working at the coroner's office, and I had to do the synopsis of how he met his demise, basically.
Wow.
I did that for years when I worked in the morgue. Yeah.
That's an insider's story I didn't expect.
I also signed, honest God truth, Professor Long has death certificate also.
Wow.
And that's something, so my name is on both of their official records somehow, man. This was back in when I was my college days, you know.
Wow. So the tune was Junko Partner.
Yes.
It's a real slice of life from him.
He was one of the best. And but you know, he had the demons, man. You know, when he said Junko Partner, yeah, he meant that. You know, he was a junkie, and you know, he had some mental issues, and you know, all the stuff that comes along with it. You know, all the baggage that comes with it.
There's quite a story with him and Harry Connick Jr., Senior and Junior. So Harry Connick Senior was a district attorney at the time, and his son Harry Connick Jr. was a young budding musician. Was just like in school at the time.
He was like 12, 13 years old, man.
Yeah, and he's like basically struck a deal. I'll keep you out of jail if you give piano lessons to my kid.
Look, so here's a funny story. I told you I worked at the coroner's office, right? That was across the street from the DA. So when we had our Christmas parties, guess who played piano? Harry Connick Jr.
Ah, okay.
They'd roll in a little electric piano, and Harry was in there. He was a little kid, man. far as I was concerned, right? He was playing his piano.
And what did you think of Harry Connick Jr. as a young musician?
I thought he was very good, man. He could play. He could play his behind off, and he was being taught by a real genius, you know.
Yeah, he had quite a
and he had a good voice, and he was confident, man.
Okay, well you're acing the blindfold so far, John. Okay, number 3.
I got a letter from someone. Just a friend we knew a long
Johnny Adams.
Beautiful voice. So this was Mark Lindy's pick for your blindfold. I did not know Johnny Adams. He's new for me. So
incredible, man. A tan canary, we called him.
Yeah.
And you know, you want to hear a beautiful tune he's got is The Real Me.
The Real Me. Okay.
Oh God, it's so gorgeous, man. You know.
I definitely want to listen.
No one ever found a reason to take a moment or a season to find the real me.
He was the J Hart. One of my fondest memories of him was when he was playing at this little bitty spot on the riverfront called Back to Dutch. And I was in the audience and listening to him. And he came up to me and he had taken a break and he said, walked off the stage and said, John, do me a favor, go sing I Cover the Waterfront. I'm like, what? I said, I'm not singing in front of Johnny Adams. I'm not going that way. And he wanted me to do it, man. So I got up there and I sang I'll Cover the Waterfront. He said,
I cover the waterfront and I'm watching the sea for the one I love. It's come back to me. I cover the waterfront and I'm looking above and I'm carried by a starless sky above. Here am I, patiently waiting, hoping and longing. Oh, how I yearn. Where are you? Are you forgetting? Did you remember? Will you return? 'Cause I cover the waterfront and I'm watching the sea for the one I love must come back to me.
he was such a sweetheart, man.
That was a real find for me. So thanks to Mark Lindy for that inspiration.
Oh yeah, baby. You're gonna all Johnny's stuff is incredible.
Okay, now are you ready for number 4?
Yeah.
This is fun, right?
It is fun.
Okay.
Some got a hold on me. Oh, if I'm being loved now. You know, some got a hold on me right now, child. Oh, if I'm being loved now. I got a feeling and I feel so strange. Everything about me seems to have changed. Step by step, I got a brand new walk. Even sounds sweeter when I talk like they do. Oh.
That's too easy for you, right, John?
Yeah, that's my dear sister. Really, yeah. Now I'm gonna have to show you a little something. Can you see that?
That's you and Lillian. Oh, what a great picture. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
man. That's this, man. You know, she was diagnosed with early on Alzheimer's and dementia right towards my mother's passing. It just breaks my heart that she's with us, but she's not with us anymore.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Wow.
That's such a cruel to me, it's it's heart wrenching.
Yeah. Well, I know you have
She's
how
comfortable.
many sisters do you have, John? Is it 5?
I got six sisters: Lolette, Lynette, Lillian. Yeah, Lolette, Lynette, Lillian, Lorna, Lita, and Lenora.
Your song, I know. It's
Yeah.
just sing the refrain from the song for us because it's so beautiful.
Lolette, Lynette, Lillian, Lorna, Lita, Lenora. My lovely sisters who raised me home, I adore you. Well, my feet may be far from your door, but I keep in my heart all the lessons you taught me when I was a boy in your arms.
And are you the only son?
There's 4 boys and 6 girls. There's 10 of us, man.
Yeah.
My mom and dad wanted 13. They literally wanted the biggest dozen. And I'm gonna tell you what, they took care of us, baby. We never wanted for anything. We always were well fed, well clothed, safe, and well educated, and always fun and so much love.
Yeah, incredible.
Never saw my mom and dad fight, ever. Never heard them, never in 40 something 7 years, I guess they were together before my dad passed. I never heard them argue or say anything bad to one another. No curse word, no demeaning, none of that shit. Nothing.
Where
They
you
were
came
good.
from, you came from good people.
They were Catholics, but they were acting like good Buddhists.
So, John, we're at the last blind.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. That's got to be Alan, huh?
It's Alan. Yeah.
And is that Nicholas Payton?
It's Nicholas Payton. That's fantastic. So it's Alan Toussaint's record. It's The Bright Mississippi.
Right.
It's one of my favorite all-time albums. 2009 it came out. So yeah, it featured Nicholas. And I wanted to play some trumpet because you're obviously that's
I knew that trumpet.
The tune is Egyptian Fantasy. It's a Sidney Bechet tune. So goes way back to early roots of New Orleans artists. Sidney Bechet, obviously a great clarinetist.
Let me tell you something about Sidney. Sidney grew up a half a block from my grandmother on Polga and Perea. And my brother married Sidney's grand niece.
Wow.
Yeah, I was lucky, man. In my aunt's backyard, Papa Celestine's band used to play for parties all the time.
There's no 6 degrees of separation here at all. Like every single
all those people
artist you're connected with, you're all it's a big family down in New Orleans.
It is, man.
I had the pleasure to see Alan Toussaint once in New York, solo piano, and what an incredible artist, and another artist that's a huge miss for your community, obviously.
Yeah, well, his son-in-law, Herman LeBeau, who is also his drummer, plays drums for me also when I use drums, and he's recorded with me also on some of my records, and I love Herman. But when Herman was on the road with Alan and Elvis Costello, Herman gave me a little insight. He told me, he says, "Dude, we were on the bus, and they had your Cubanismo record. That's the record I did with the Cuban group in the 90s, right? First time Cubans ever recorded on American soil since embargo. Anyway, Elvis Costello and Alan were listening to Cubanismo, and Alan literally, Alan said I was his favorite male vocalist at that time.
In Good Town where the cats all meet, it's the Mardi Gras Mambo with the beat. Shout a cheer for the Zulu King. Truck on down with the mambo string. Mardi Gras Mambo, Mambo, Mambo. Mardi Gras Mambo, Mambo, Mambo. Mardi Gras
And he was such a gracious guy, man. I remember the first time he's the one who got me into this. When my sister Lillian was singing with him and they were recording Southern Nights at C. Saint Studios. I was in the room.
Oh my God.
I was in that room, and I just saw how he operated, man. The band was at the studio, and everybody was, they had fried food, oysters and shrimp, and a beautiful layout, and everybody was just having, relaxing before. About 3:00, people started moseying into the room, and then, she's tuning up and stuff. But at 4:00, without anybody saying anything, 4:00, everybody in that room was sitting down by the instruments, quiet, right? Just in waiting, And Alan walks into the room at 4:00 on the dot, straight to the piano. Hi, guys, starts work.
Wow. No messing
That's I saw him with if the background singers were having a problem with a note, he'd change it. He changed the harmony so they wouldn't have a problem. He was just brilliant, man. If he messed up something, if he forgot a lyric, something I got from, he would write it down, ball it up, and throw it in the garbage. And then that's what he did. It was just some of these little idiosyncrasies and how he treated, there was some woman in the sound room, Margie Joseph, great blues R&B singer. Look her up. My sister sang with her too. Margie was in the room, in the sound room, and she was a smoker back then. Everybody smoked cigarettes. And she put a cigarette up to her mouth like this, and like a vampire out of nowhere, Alan was there with a lighter. I was like, who is this guy? I said, that's who I want to be. That's the kind of organization I want to have and respect. And he was just a beautiful soul, man.
Oh, it's been so great to see you. What a rare pleasure to catch up with you and see you on Zoom. I can't wait till I can see you in person and give you a real hug, a real New Orleans hug, which
yeah, you're right, babe.
We're all missing that.
I'm listening to you. I'm gonna give you this. This has been one of my favorite Zooms.
Oh, yay. Good. Okay.
I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the dawn of the day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see trees of green, red roses too, and I watch them grow for me and for you. Then I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, they're also on the faces of all the people passing by. I see friends greeting friends. They're saying, how do you do? they're really saying, I love you. I hear babes that cry. We'll watch them grow. They'll learn so much more than we ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, they're also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends greeting friends, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babes that cry. We're gonna watch them grow. They'll learn so much more than we ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh yes. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.